Hey guys, T here. Today we're going to look at the new Tier 6 Russian Destroyer Ognevoi. This is the reward ship for the Halloween event that's going on right now. I haven't actually had a chance to play the event yet, but I do got the ship on load for a week, so we're going to check it out. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the Halloween event so far. I've been getting some mixed feedback, but I want to get some more from you guys. I'll hopefully get some time to play that a little bit as the week goes on here. Jumping into the game here. Well, let's do the stats first, I guess. Why don't I compare it to the Minsk? We got about 500 less health than the Minsk. I do want to point out when we're going to compare these stats, we got Sergio on this build. My normal build is with Trubes, who's a level 14. Sergio's only a level 11. So we might get a little bit of discrepancy just based on the build. Keep that in mind, but I'm just going to run down my stats. We got one less gun. 2x2s, same 130 caliber as the Minsk, but that ship has 5 turrets. Reload time, we got about a half second more. Better turret traverse, but I'm assuming that's almost all attributed to Sergio, who that's his base trait. Will kind of boost that. HE damage, I got about 150 less on this one. So, same thing with the AP damage. The difference here is the torpedoes. Minsk is kind of the end of the line of the destroyers in the Russian line that you shouldn't be looking to torp very often. Sometimes you can do it, but you shouldn't be looking to do it very often. Ognevoi, here we got a straight-up torpedo boat. You do have the option for the slot. There's a legendary mod that you can put in that thing if you look at the build screen there. I think it adds a couple more torps, adds a little bit to the reload. So I got 92-second reload, which is the same as the Leningrad. It's a little bit faster than Minsk, which is 98. But here we have 10-kilometer torps. Slower in the water, 60 knots compared to 65 for the Minsk. But the reaction time on these babies, 5.77. Now that's with the Atago build, the Atago Commander Azure Lane, that reduces the reaction time by about a second. But those are really hard to dodge. That's the same reaction time as the Benham actually has, and those are same kind of torps. But these ones, 60 knots, so pretty usable. Speed, 37, much lower than the Minsk, 43. Rudder shift better, 610 compared to 690. Detection, 5.3 compared to 6.8. Now, I don't run my Russian tech tree destroyers with any sort of concealment, but 5.3, that's pretty dang good. Looking up and down my roster, that's, we got the Germans that I got set up better, and looks like the Japanese, of course. Other than that, this is highly competitive. So if you're going against players, even, Akatsuki or whatever, if their commander builds aren't as advanced as yours, they're going to have a hard time, and you can outspot them. So that's how I got the ship set up. That's the stats. Here, jumping in this game, we've captured A. You can see on the map, red's mostly playing towards C. We're able to take out the lone destroyer with the other 2 destroyers on our team. Team up against him, 3v1. You're usually going to win that fight pretty easily. So a little bit disappointing for our teammates who are kind of, if you looked down the map earlier, they were kind of pinging for us to go over there and spot. If I was that middle destroyer, we had 2 spawn in the southwest, 1 in the middle. If I was the one in the middle, I would have gone to C-cap, and then if I saw that happening, I would have gone and played the middle, just so we had some good spotting. But nevertheless, we overwhelmed the Maz, take him out. Now we're kind of trying to, I'm being careful here, making sure we don't get spotted by the destroyer. We don't know where that destroyer is that captured B. But the Fuso is close enough to him that if we get spotted by a destroyer right now, we're in trouble. When you're evaluating these situations, you kind of have to figure out where you think the enemy is and then put yourself in their shoes. Like, I'm looking at that grayed out destroyer to the north of B, assuming he probably moved into B. I don't know if he was responsible for capping it or not, but just based on the direction that he was facing and the fact that if he goes towards A, he might be looking to cap that. If he knows how to play domination mode, that should be at least on his mind as a possible play to make. So that's why I'm being really cautious here. We're moving away from this Fuso. You can see how close we can get with this thing, though. I mean, again, this is a Russian destroyer, and we're able to get right up next to these battleships. Now I got a very high-level bay, but I also have Swirsky. We could even slap him on there and boost the concealment even more, and then you'd kind of have elite-tier concealment, probably below 5 kilometers, which most players, the builds that I've been working on, these commanders, they've been being built up over a year and a half. So if you have these type of options available, you're going to have a massive advantage. Anyway, there we take out the Fuso, remove him. We need to get on B. Now we do have the other destroyers coming from A. They're finally catching up here, coming over to B to help us capture that. And then note, we have a California way over there. Anytime I review American battleship, I'll kind of harp on that point that playing either centrally or 5 steps ahead is of supreme importance. You're going to see he's going to have a key role in this game, and he does his part. But it's going to be very difficult for him to continue to influence the game throughout the duration of the match, just because it's, you know, California is, I think it's one of the slowest ships, if not the slowest ship, at least in terms of you know, higher tier ships. So if I was him, I would have probably played between A and B to start with, and then you know, taken it from there. He could have still supported us from A in that position. Anyways, I don't want to harp on that too much, but it's always worth noting because a lot of new players are playing American battleships, and that's kind of the easiest mistake to make. Here we're capping. We do have those 2 Akatsukis coming up behind us. Now they have varying levels of health, but what I am doing is noting where they're going on the map. They both look like they're going through the gap in between those 2 islands, or at least playing through there. So we're going to come down here with an eye to come around, either to attack any ships that end up running away from them, you know, if they're heading towards the east, or maybe we can get some flanking fire on these guys. I do have to slow down here because those Akatsukis are engaged in the gunfight. They are taking fire and getting reset. But sooner or later, we're going to capture it just on our own. I mean, even if they keep getting reset. So you got to keep an eye on that. It could have been very easy to squirt through that if we weren't paying attention. But do get the cap. So that's 2 caps for us and the team. And now we're kind of set up for success. We just got to make sure the game doesn't slip away. We got the flank cap, we got the center cap. Those of you that have seen me play domination mode and talk about it know that that's the setup that you need to achieve to win this game on a consistent basis. Now the enemy Benham did take out one of those destroyers. He's got 16 torps available, so we do have to be a little careful here. I'm trying to come around here and we're going to see a smoke cloud, so I'm going to see if we can ambush him, but we're noticing on the map right now that we have red ships on the east. You see me pinging that cruiser over there. Number 1, killing cruisers is extremely important because they're a huge threat to the destroyers. Domination mode, destroyers reign supreme. So teammates need to be shooting those. I'm trying to remind them of that. But getting back to my point I was going to make, you have to notice when those ships that are on your flanks are within your firing range, because when you fire your guns, you will be permanently detected for 20 seconds until that detection drops back down to your blue ring. So you got to know that going into it ahead of time. You don't want to be surprised by that fact. I would always recommend checking the map before you decide to start firing. Just make sure you're aware of the consequences. You can see there, even though we knew we were going to get spotted there, we decided to fire. We wanted to help take out that destroyer if possible, and we had the smoke available. So now we're on the cap. This is one of those situations where I'm thinking probably not. Well, first we missed that first torp salvo. I thought I was shooting both of those at the Dells. But this is one of those situations where I'm thinking, I'm just trying to be on this cap for a little while here to slow down. You know, they're not getting any points from this cap for the moment. I want to let the score catch up a little bit. Cannot get rushed by the Dallas. This is classic destroyer mistake 101. Sitting in the cloud thinking, all right, they can't see me. No danger to me whatsoever. The problem is you're not going to be able to see that Dallas, you know, when you're sitting in the cloud, unless you got teammates spotting them like we do currently, but we didn't initially. That thing can all of a sudden be 2 kilometers away from you. Either start proxy spotting you, spot you with the sonar, or as your smoke dissipates, you know, all of a sudden he's within your blue detection ring and you're dead. So I'm keeping an eye on how close he is to me. We're keeping an eye on how long that smoke is. That yellowed out icon right now, it starts turning yellow when it gets low. Switch to AP there, trying to get a kill shot on the guy he angled in. Switch back to HE. This guy's playing pretty well. So I'm immediately getting out of there. I'm using the smoke while it still remains to keep my, you know, I'm trying to keep it in between me and him anyways. But we had enough distance between us and the Dallas to get out of there. But you do not want to Dell. You want to begin escaping before you really need to. You don't want to just let them get too close, because that would have been a throw at this point in time. You can see we're down ships. Yes, we're up caps, but the situation is dire. Torps come back up. You see the Akatsuki pops up on the screen just as that happens. So we launch towards him. We kind of see that he's not playing us. I'm assuming he's going to go play B, which is the proper play. Of course, what he's actually going to do is go try and torp battleships because he's a Japanese destroyer, and that's all he thinks he's capable of doing, which ends up actually costing these guys the game. But Dallas, I'm going to be pinging this guy. The California that's been struggling to get into the action is going to actually shoot some rounds at this guy. I think it's the California. Unfortunately, he's not going to hit him, but I do appreciate the effort with the team. This Dallas needed to be dead a long time ago. If you're going to try and win late in the game, you need to be removing the destroyers. You need to be removing the cruisers. You can see this Dallas is a major problem. Once I see that he's shooting at someone else and his attention is occupied, we go ahead and open up on him. Very risky play. You know, he can kill us very quickly, and you can see now he stopped shooting. He's angling towards us. He's trying to get his guns on us, and we're going to be pinging, help. We're going to be shooting as much as we can. There's some more incoming fire. Not the catastrophic kill shot that we were hoping for from our support ships, but again, they're shooting at him, which is definitely much better than what you normally see out there. We get a fire that he puts out. We get another one. That's technically a kill shot, but we do not want to die in the meantime, so we're going to keep shooting at him. You can see the other ships on the team outside the white ring, so as soon as this guy goes down, I mean, we don't know where the destroyer is, but the ones that we know about, they're outside of the ring. So as soon as this guy dies, we should be unspotted unless the Akatsuki came to play against us. Taking some shots here. You know, we had to damage con the fire. Get him down, though, for the 4th kill. Now we evaluate the game situation. 2 caps to 1. Score very close. We got 1 battleship that's probably going to die. They have a destroyer. What their destroyer should be doing is getting on B and then spotting the battleship, hoping his teammates will kill the battleship. If not, getting on B, they're going to win on score, depending on how close he is there. He's going to stop us from getting those points. Eventually, they're going to bank that B for themselves, start getting their own points from it. So that's the play. Get on B, keep the battleship spotted, hope they can kill him. That'll be a 100-point swing. That's the win. But you can see on the map, he pops up there. Now I'm assuming he's going to hit the suicide torp run. Usually an Akatsuki with that much health should kill this California. Unfortunately for him, he apparently just doesn't do that good of a job torping him. Didn't get the broadside, presumably. Probably launched at the front of the ship. We'll see as those torps go by here in a second. But he doesn't kill the California. If he did that and he quickly got on B, I think they probably would have had a pretty decent chance of winning there. But that's why I'm getting over here to see. That's why I opened fire on that Dallas, because if Dallas kept chasing me around, if we let this go on too long, they could execute this play that Akatsuki could have very easily torped that battleship, gotten on B. And then if the Dallas continues to prevent me from getting on C here, then they're going to win on score. So there's a lot of ways for us to lose this game. A lot of ways. And, you know, it's not just a slavish dedication to constantly getting caps. I mean, we're evaluating the situation. How do we win? And by doing this, we're basically guaranteeing the win. They can't get on A to stop the accrual points there and flip it. They can't get on C anymore. And the California is actually going to kill the Akatsuki, which is the icing on the cake. I think he hit him with a couple salvos, and his secondaries got him. I'm trying to start a fire on the Ismail just because he's nearly on the edge of my firing ring, and I'm trying to support the California, maybe get a fire on this guy, and, you know, just affect the fight as much as possible. But killing those guys are irrelevant. The game is now won. Okay, so California ended up doing a really good job closing that out. We can criticize his positioning early, but he did come through in the clutch there, got the Akatsuki, which could have presented a bit of a thorn. But once again, guys, you know, this win comes down to the difference between the destroyer play. We went against the grain, you know, which you typically see over there out in the wild. We played the cap. We killed the Dallas. We took a major risk doing that. We got him. Then we went around, got C. We didn't bother going straight down here trying to support the California, trying to torp these guys, even trying to kill the Akatsuki, which that's the natural instinct. You guys see, oh, you know, this guy's going down. I got to go help him or whatever. Getting over here basically sealed the deal, because now even if that destroyer got on B, like we were talking about earlier, and flipped it, we still have the 2 cap control. And even when this guy goes down, we got over 100 points difference, so we're going to win the game. So that's what it comes down to. My impressions on this ship, I like it quite a bit. whether or not it's worth the grind, I guess we'll have to see. That's why I kind of get some feedback from you guys on the event, just so we can all have more of an informed decision on whether it's worth it or not. But if you do get the ship and you like destroyers, I think you're going to like it a lot. It's been a lot of fun to play, at least getting the hang of it for an early impressions video. So hope you guys did enjoy that one. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.